Counter Punch Boxing News, and I am live to discuss George Kambosos, the former unified lightweight champion, on some recent things that he claims about his fight with the current undisputed lightweight champion, Devin Haney. And Topentine, that's how it feels when you fail. You think others must be cheating or must have some extra power. It happened to Wilder. He called it egg form. AJ called it punch from the gods. Psychological prop. Turpentine. We'll get to that in here in a second. Aiden Bacon. Ain't no way he actually said that. Okay, Broner Jr. I beat that boy. You know I beat that boy. I beat him. TB. There's no way he said that. No, he did. He said that. He said that, sir. Yes, he said that. He said, I beat that boy. You know I beat that boy. I beat him. Let's hit that like button as we come in on this beautiful Sunday or Monday some places. If you're in good old Australia, good old down under, right? I want to get a workout while I talk to you guys. You know how I do it sometimes. Kill two birds with one stone, you know. But George Kambosos felt that he was robbed. He felt that he was robbed because yesterday he said, you know what? I'm going to let Devin Haney have it. I'm going to let him enjoy his victory because I knew what it was like to enjoy mine. I knew what it's like to beat Teofimo Lopez. I know what it's like. Okay. But now the tide is turning, people. The tide is turning. And he's saying that I thought I was robbed. I thought I won that fight. I think they cheated me in my own hometown. And this is how it's going down. Bars. You know? Yeah, he was dead serious. Michael Manning, he's dead serious. Oh yeah, he's dead serious. George thinks he won that fight. And I'm trying to rack my head around. We'll let more people come in. We'll let look Skrilla 50. What's up, brother? Counter punch to you. Michael Manning, man, Broner after that Pac fight was legendary. Oh, look, that's Adrian Broner though. He's gonna be legendary. He's gonna be legendary. That's all he knows. That's Adrian Broner, baby. AB. About bullshit. About billions. About bail. So, Adrian Broner was going to make it legendary. So, George Kambosos is following that cab about bankruptcy. Skrilla 50, post-fight, he said someone told me I outlanded him. Look, I'm going to tell you something. Something was off by the first round. First round, they had George Kambosos landing 8. They had Devin Haney landing 5. So you ask yourself, who was being cheated? Who was being treated? You legit jumping off the porch. That's it, bro. You know I can do that. Broner should have been. Yeah. He should have fought Marcos Maidana. Adrian Broner, he should have rematched him. Got the win if he could. Because Marcos Maidana was still a savage. What destroyed Marcos was money. What destroyed Marcos Maidana was money, people. Marcos Maidana was a savage. You know, he went bar none with Amir Khan, Victor Ortiz, a lot of guys. Adrian Broner. Okay? He was that guy. But when he fought Floyd Money Mayweather and made those millions, he got fat. Money destroyed Marcos. He ain't been the same since. But back to Broner. Broner should have fought him. Got his bearings back. Got his stripes back. You know, hey, he took an L. But then he got his get back. George needs to be drug tested if he thinks he won that fight. Yeah, and he added with, well, that's his game. He used the jab. That's all he had. I'm like, dude, you could nullify a jab. You see, if George Kambosos is saying that all Devin Haney did was use a jab, that's saying a lot about his defense, people. That's saying a lot about his defense. I'm just going to keep it a buck. Because you're saying that I don't know how to slip the jab. That's what he's saying. He's saying I don't know how to slip the jab. He's saying I have no answer for that one thing Devin Haney did. That's what he's saying. So it makes him look basic if someone beats you with one weapon. And that's what really Devin did. He put that jab in his face all night. I didn't see any punch stats from ESPN. What a terrible, terrible broadcast that is. Michael, that's how it works. You know, DAZN used to be like that. Remember, DAZN didn't have an actual, like, punch stat count in some of their fights. It was just, hey, this guy. That's it. Then his dad was saying no excuses during the press conference, too. Now, I think no excuses is the thing to say when you're about to say excuses. That's what I think. Did he actually say he was robbed? Yeah. He said, I think I won that fight. He said, I think I won that fight. He sure did. If George invokes his rematch clause, he'll get beat the same way. Just the casual. Kambosos won. Just the casual. If you think that your word and your name, your title suits you, very much so. Let's hit that like button. We got 40 people in here. Appreciate the crowd. It's like a small day in church. And I got a sermon for you. And the sermon is like this. Kambosos lost. And then this is the problem. He lost in a boring fight. He didn't lose in a fight like Wilder or a Teofimo fight that had multiple knockdowns. You know, an action-packed fight like Joshua Glad. No. None of that. He lost a boring fight with a younger, faster, sharper, more in shape, let's be real, fighter like Devin Haney. So, you got to ask yourself this, right? Like, how many times did Devin Haney pop in with that jab? I'm pretty sure just a casual. I refuse to believe Kambo thought he won that fight. He lost all 12 rounds. I think you could argue that he won one round. And that was maybe the second or the fourth. No, the fourth or the 12th. Because Devin Haney knew I did my job the whole fight. And when you damn near get to the finish line, you tend to look behind you, to the right of you, to the left of you, and you start to coast. Right? That's exactly what Devin Haney did. He started to coast. That's exactly what he did. And Kambosos tried to rally But he did that too late. He should have been doing that shit round 9, 10, 11, and 12. And see, here's the thing. Since the judges already had it 8-4 in favor of Haney, he could have got back and just rallied 9, 10, 11, and 12, and it would have been a split decision or some shit like that. But he didn't do that. He didn't use his own damn jab. He wants to talk about jabs, right? He just used the jab. You want to talk about jabs. He didn't throw his own jab. 85% of that fight, he acted like he didn't know what a fucking jab was. But you were getting hit with one all night long. I mean, Devin is, his jab is like a pretty boy. His jab is like a pretty boy. His jab is like a pretty boy. It's a probing jab. He gets you. He goes down to the pit of the stomach. You know, he just doesn't have that delivery like Pretty Boy did. He doesn't. But Devin is young. However, though, to counter that, he wasn't as good as Floyd when Floyd was that age. He just wasn't. And you hear Floyd Mayweather all day, there's no fighter better than me. There's no fighter that will be better than me. It just won't. And I don't believe that. But Floyd is one of the best that ever done it. And if Haney can get anywhere near the skill set that Floyd is or was at, he could beat everyone. Or he would beat a lot of people. Okay? Atrocious. That was easy work. Tim Bradley was giddy last night on that call. He was. Tim Bradley said it. Easy work. Man, you know, I always wanted to see Timothy Bradley fight Floyd. Especially when Timothy Bradley beat Juan Manuel Marquez. Because you know that was a big fight. He beat Marquez. He beat him to the punch. He beat him in exchanges. He was first. You know, Timothy Bradley was the man, kind of. Because he beat the man that knocked out the man that he robbed. Oh, man. So, that's what it is. He admitted, Haney, guys. I guess Teofimo won their match up as well. I mean, hey, kindred spirits begat kindred spirits. Are you surprised that he felt he was robbed? Are you surprised that he thought he won? Hell, Teofimo thought he won. I won that fight, yo. I take my wins like I take my losses. I won that fight. I thank God I won that fight. Man, Teo was a trip. All busted up, bleeding, bloody, battered, beat up. You know? I won that fight, yo. I won that fight. I got robbed, yo. That was a huge fight. He sure was then Desert Storm. He was. You talking about a man that pushed himself to run 19 miles straight just because he refused to quit. He wanted to see how far he could push himself. Dude, I love that kind of stamina. I love that type of desire. I love that type of drive. That makes me hype thinking about it. When somebody pushes themselves, it makes me hype. That's like some new type of dopamine. If you could put that shit in the can, I'd be on it all the time. Probably go out like Kevin Samuels. God bless the dead. Bob is ready to throw Haney at Loma. Yeah, he is. And see, they're thinking. And you know what Bob's thinking right now, guys? Bob's thinking like this. I don't want to see another fucking Devin Haney versus Kambosos all the way down under. It's a day away. I want to see Devin Haney, the undisputed champion, taking on the other former undisputed champion, double Olympian gold, Vasil Lomachenko. That's what I want to see. Kambosos is out of here. That's what he said. That's what he's thinking. He don't want to have a rematch. Why? He doesn't want to have a rematch. I think Tito beats George. I feel the first fight was an off night for Lopez. I think Lopez has the skills to beat George Kambosos, but he didn't beat George Kambosos. And he didn't want to fight George Kambosos again. It wasn't the fact that George didn't want to fight him. That fight should have happened, but equally so. Because there should have been a rematch between T.O. and Loma. T.O. and Loma should have fought each other. They should have fought each other. That should have been a rematch. See, if you can say T.O. had an off night, is it safe to say that Loma had an off night as well? Because they both could have had off nights, but they still lost. They weren't the better man that night. And that night is what matters. Not any other day. Not today, not tomorrow. That night. So it is what it is. Loma is too much for Devin. Hey, we got to see it. I'll say this, though. Since Devin is kind of like a representation of how Floyd fought with the shoulder roll, I would like to see that fight because I always wanted to see Loma versus Pretty Boy Floyd. Bob, I hate rematch clause, Aram. T.O. and George are not top level. Ooh, St. Don came in with that counter punch. Loma ducked Haney once already by accepting franchise champion status. Well, don't worry, because nobody has anywhere to go now. Nobody. If you want to stay at 135 and you want to be a champion, you have to fight Devin Haney. So the sacrifice was necessary. Ask Bill Haney. He told me himself personally. The sacrifice is necessary. And it was. And you know what? He doesn't have to fight George Kambosos again. Why? He doesn't have to fight. He doesn't have to fight George Kambosos. I mean, nothing really warrants a rematch. He beat him easily. He used damn near one punch. He threw the right when he wanted to, right? I wanted Devin to do more because I didn't know what the scorecards were. I knew he was winning the damn fight. I always knew he was going to beat George anyway. But that's not the point. The point is, will he get the decision in a foreign land? That's the point. That's the point. So, I want Loma, Tank, Ryan, who else? Who else? I want them to step up. Maybe there's a blueprint for how to beat Devin now. Take away the jab and fight him on the inside. Well, you're not going to do that. Devin's too smart for that. Inside fighting? Devin ain't going to fight you on the inside. Why? Because he doesn't have to. Why? Because he can beat you coming in or going out. And if you go on the inside, we seen Maypac. What happened with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Money Mayweather? Whenever Manny tried to come in with all those punches, what did he do? Wrap him up. Clinch. That's easy. It's boxing. This ain't a fist fight. This ain't a back alley brawl. This ain't a bare knuckle fight. This is boxing. Every so often, in boxing, a fight breaks out. But it doesn't have to be. Because if you know what you're doing and you have the right type of temperament, you can beat anybody. Just outbox him. Devin showed you. If he tries to come in with inside fighting, you better be able to slip, get away from that jab. You might have something with that jab, because if you take away that man's jab and his ability to score with that jab, he has problems. But that inside fighting, Devin's just going to wrap you up because he already knows. I'm not going to fight you on the inside. That's not my game. My game is to box you. I'm a pure boxer. I'm not a brawler. I'm not a boxer puncher. He's not a puncher like that. He punches you enough to keep you honest. Speed is power, so he's fast enough. With the speed behind that punch, and the speed is power, so that speed, which is that punch, is coming at your ass. Bap! Bap! Oh, I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that. That's what Kambosos was doing yesterday. He was doing this. Bap! Bap! That's what he was doing all night. All night long. Haney had George in every department. He did. Yo, Cadillac DeGrill, congrats to Haney for beating Kangaroo George. Anthony Evelyn counterpunched to you. Don't worry, I'll talk to Bill soon. Soon as he touches down. Haney schooled that boy. Yeah. And look, I'm disappointed in George. Because I thought George would have some type of adjustment when whatever he was doing didn't work. Not even a big Haney fan, but I give him credit for taking those belts from down under. He did. He just needed to fight somebody to get him. He fought the right person. T.O. was bullshitting him. Let's just face it. T.O. was bullshitting. You know why I was bullshitting? Because as soon as George got those belts, the fight happened. That's all you need to know. When George got those belts, a fight was made. T.O. had those belts, a fight wasn't made. A bunch of capping, a bunch of clapping, but no fight happened. Bars. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. See, I look for results. I don't look for a bunch of talk. Because we can say, T.O. Sr., we offer him that fight, bro. He didn't take the fight. He didn't take the fight, bro. He didn't want it. We offered him that fight. We offered him that fight. He didn't want the fight, yo. As soon as George beat T.O., the fight happened. Julian, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. Didn't happen, though. Kambosos got destroyed every single minute of every single round. Kambosos kept trying to land the same overhand right all night and didn't vary his attack. His ultimate downfall was predictability. Well, that's another thing. You could at least land it at once. And this also tells you something else. Linares, old as he is, old as Linares is, he's faster than Kambosos. Because Linares landed that shit, didn't he? Had Devin like this. Didn't he not? Gave him the Las Vegas stanky leg. 35-year-old Linares. The same guy that dropped Lomachenko on his ass. He was able to land that right hand and Kambosos couldn't, being in his prime, being 29. Bars. Kambosos made for Haney. Too reckless, too one-dimensional. Same outcome in a rematch. Kambosos got outboxed by Haney. George Atrocious Kambosos reluctantly took that fight with Haney. Kambosos wanted to fight Loma, who offered him nothing. Well, you for some folks in here, Kurt. Good looking. Again, the man that beat the man that beat the man. That's it. That's it, man. You know, it is what it is. Come on, George. Take the truth on the chin like you took Haney's punches. Oh, that was a weird fight all around. Didn't make fight. Didn't make weight. He's not even big Mickey Bay or Fight Hype nailed that fight. So wait, did Kambosos say that he got robbed? Yep, he did. Let's hit that like button. We need 100 likes. So whoever, all 150 of you, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Styles make fights. Long Wolf. That was the wrong style for him. That was the wrong style. Yeah, let's get that likes up. We got 64. Come on, let's go. Let's hit the like button. Understand something. Thank each and every one of you for having notifications. Some of you guys didn't even get notified. That's not my fault. It's not because you don't like the channel. Right? It's because YouTube slacks. You know, they call it algorithms. They're just slacking. Kambosos said that he felt the fight was close, which it wasn't. Well, no, it wasn't. But I would let that slide because when you're in a fight, you don't really score it. I get that. But when you watch the fight unbiasedly, and you can say and come up with the same thing, something's wrong. Nope. Something's wrong. Absolutely. Kambosos robbed himself being too cocky, just like Tio, calling himself an emperor. Yeah, that was a bit much, wasn't it? Ed, that was a little bit too much. I'm an emperor. You beat one motherfucker, man. Come on. And that one motherfucker only beat one motherfucker. It just so happened to be the motherfucker. You know? That's why I think it's better to follow somebody with a better resume than to follow somebody that only beat one person. And then that one person is their total resume. Okay, I'd rather see a guy that's beat 3 or 4 people. At least he's known, at least he's proven, at least he's shown. Then one guy just comes out of nowhere, gets a mandatory, and beats that one guy. I love that you have the reminders. That's a must. Absolutely. You know, let's get those likes up. We almost got 200 people and we got 78 likes. You have a huge fan base, Kurt. People would find you without notifications. Well, that's a good thing. You know, but that's what they're for. It's a perk. It's a feature. Right? So, you know, let's hit that like button. The ref allowed Haney to hold over and over. Well, here's the thing. I wouldn't have cared for that. But it also shows, though, how much or what type of ref you have will always determine how a fight plays out. That's why you see me going in on referees. That's the reason. Like, look at the referee, Junior Fa get knocked out by Lucas Brown. That was garbage. That was complete grass. That shouldn't have happened like that, man. He hit Junior Fa here. And he ruled it as a legitimate knockdown. That was false. That should have been a foul. He should have had 5 minutes. And probably a point deduction because he already did it earlier. Kambosos is a B-class champ. He needed more than heart to compete at the top level. Styles do make fights, and Kambosos had no answer for what Haney brought. He did not. Khan, you are absolutely right. The emperor has no clothes. Well, he has no clothes if those belts represented his clothes that he was wearing. He has none. Yeah, you're right. The Naked Emperor. The George Kambosos story. Man, that's a good title, right? Yep. I hope Kambosos hasn't watched the fight back yet saying that. Well, you know. But then again, here's the thing, too, you have to keep in mind. He needs to watch the fight by himself. And why I say that is because if you're watching a fight with his dad, 2 or 3 other cousins, everything he does is going to be accented. Everything he does is going to be amplified. He's not going to have a fair voice in that room when he watches his own damn fight that he lost. Exactly. Don't watch it with Pops, say Don. Don't watch it with Pops. Panama Jack was a weird choice of refs. Bizarre guy. Yeah. Junior Fa is built like a pottery clay that hasn't been molded yet. Skrilla 50, he is bad built. Because even like David Tua and even David Tua and Joseph Parker, at least they have definition. David Tua was actually kind of built because he was stocky. You know, he had the mountains on his back. He was, he was cut up. When he could hit you, he could knock you out. Let's hit that like button. We got 84. Let's hit that like button. Kambosos was just outmatched. It happens. Yeah? And I think what depends on him is what he does after this. Because if he fights Devin again, if he's able to get a fight with Devin Haney, mind you, and he loses again, he's just going to be that guy that was a one-hit wonder. He's going to be another Andy Ruiz. And based on what he does after that loss, because he's already lost, then we'll see who he is. Kambosos says the fight was close just to justify a rematch. Yeah, but it wasn't. It was not. It was not close. Let's hit that like button. Let's get her in. Let's get her done. My shoelaces are untied. That would help. Kurt, what does Uncle C think about the Haney fight? I haven't talked to him lately. I got to call him. You know what? He has some clips for me. I'll upload them. When I get to Atlanta, I'm going to upload some. Come on, hit the likes. This dude is reading your stuff and jumping rope at the same time. Wouldn't be surprised if he's chewing gum too. Man, I don't know. I think people don't hit it. Maybe people are spies. Spying eyes. Let's hear what Kurt got to say. Because it's always like the people that don't like you will watch you. But if the like button helps you, they ain't going to select the shit. So I get it. George wasn't beat up, but lost every round comfortably. No point in a rematch. Hey, I agree. Looks hot there. It is. This is Texas, bro. It's in June. It's probably 92, 93 degrees. But you have to remember the you have to remember the humidity. I think Kambosos' ego will demand that the rematch take place, even though I believe it's unnecessary. Yeah. Spies, the haters, gonna watch to download the info like Haney was early. Well, you have. I was told I bought subscribers. I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you buy subscribers? You know what I mean? I heard people do that. But why would you want to do that? We will see Tank and Haney next. Tank and Haney? Probably at welterweight. Where the hell is Ryan Garcia? What are you going to do? Ryan Watterson, only claim to fame to Kambosos, got to take the rematch right away, a fadeaway into the pits of obscurity. Yeah, that's true. Come on, we got 50 more. We got 50 more likes. We got 50 more likes. Kambosos reminds me of the Black Knight in the Monty Holy Grail. Bob is going to strong arm Kambosos to step aside. He wants the Loma fight. Well, understand something about Bob. Bob is worried about that money. Bob is worried about what money he can make. He has Devin Haney for one more fight. So why would you waste it on a rematch with Kambosos? Kambosos proved And here's the thing too. I think with the press conferences, when all the people that were there, we had all the press and the media, I think he said that just to be a good sport, so Devin Haney would come back. But as soon as Devin Haney and all the media leaves from America and they're flying back here, or they're flying in tomorrow or whatever, or today, that's when I think the real Kambosos is coming out. Just like now. I think I was right. Yeah. I remember when everyone was talking about Garcia, but now he is faded away. Yeah, Garcia's, I don't know. I don't know what's up with Garcia. Drummond for life. What's up, CP? Salute. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Let's hit that like button. Kambosos reminds me of a little dog like Jack Russell that thinks it could beat a pit bull. Bob stole Haney with that deal. It was very weird, but the whole contract thing sent the same contract that Loma had, and it's 2 more fights. Let me tell you something. It was smart, because they wouldn't have got that fight with Eddie Hearn. They wouldn't have got it. They wouldn't have got that fight with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's just another big promoter. And they had George Kambosos, Ludabella, hey, it is what it is. Word around the campfire, Usyk is struggling in training. I haven't heard that one, but Kambosos had the little man syndrome. These Yanks and Derry pity pat boxing. Word of the day. The letters on your last hat are still backwards. I know, right? I heard this from Ringside Reporter Live. Oh, well. What type of struggling is he? Is it physical or is it mental? I mean, And that's the thing. If Usyk is willing to if he beats Joshua, or he makes the fight with Joshua to the point where, because here's the thing. If Joshua fights Usyk and he still loses, but it's very competitive, like he gets a knockdown or something, then how much of that could you give to Joshua just putting in the effort to train and make adjustments versus the decline with Usyk struggling in training? That's what you ask yourself. But enough of the heavyweight stuff. We're back down to lightweights. This is what it's about. They're simply saying this to create interest in the rematch, but nobody wants to see it. St. Don. It's said he can't stop thinking about the war. Mental then. It's mental, but affecting his physical ability. Okay. Gotcha. Exactly, Kirk. It's a lose-lose. Yeah, it's a lose-lose. Honestly, Usyk shouldn't have took that rematch. I'm just going to be real with you. Because we don't know where he's at, and it's not fair to him that his fucking country got invaded. That's not fair. Life's not fair. But I'm going to tell you what's not smart. If that's bothering him mentally and it's affecting him physically, and one of Usyk's strongest abilities is to be mentally strong, you might go in there a guy that's half the man he used to be. And then Joshua won't get any credit because once again, he'll be fighting a guy that beat him that wasn't like he was the first time. Look at Andy. Andy was nothing like he was the first fight. Like Usyk, he's nothing like he is the second. If he lost 20 fucking pounds and he's not been able to gain that weight back, and he's been worried about the war and Loma and Vlad and Vitali and his family and his neighbors and all that other bullshit, he should have took the fight. He should have stayed where he was at or just left to get his mind off of it so his family can be safe. But under no circumstances should he be fighting. Because you don't know how that affects him. It could affect him positively or it could affect him negatively. So, we'll know. Devin did well. He did. That's right. Devin gambled on himself and won big. Congratulations to the undisputed champion. Absolutely. So, for the record, people, before I jump off of here, for the record, the undisputed fighters, Bernard Hopkins, Jermaine Taylor, Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, Jermell Charlo, Devin Haney, okay? Who else? Josh Taylor. Those are undisputed. Not Tio. He's not undisputed. He never was undisputed. Not George Kambosos. He was never undisputed either. That's the difference. That's the difference between disputed and undisputed. Robert Garcia, right choice. I don't know if he's a right choice. I don't know if he's a right choice, but I think they're going to use him for an offensive coordinator. They're going to use him for an offensive coordinator. You know, but George, if he thinks he won that fight, I think he needs to watch it by himself, turn the volume down, and non-biasedly watch that fight. Humble himself. Don't drink. Don't bring your wife. Don't bring anybody else around you, and watch that fight for yourself. That's what I think we should do. I can't see Tank Davis and Haney coming to finding that happy medium in which they both agree to fight. Well, this is what's going to happen. Tank doesn't need lightweight. Tank's going to campaign at 140. See, here's the problem with Tank. Tank's handlers think he's too big for everybody around him. See, you can't be a superstar all by yourself if you're not fighting anybody else. What good is a superstar if you don't have nobody to fight? What good is a guy that's the best if you have nobody to test? Bars, what good is he? You guys remember when he was at 140? Who was there at 140? Undisputed. Josh Taylor, he's still there. What did Leonard Ellerby say? We don't even know who the fuck he is. That's the type of attitude that will cause Tank Davis to never shine. That's the last thing Leonard Ellerby should have done, was to say that nobody knows who Josh Taylor is. That's a dumb move. It's an arrogant one, but it's stupid. Why is it stupid? Because he has to have somebody to ultimately fight, eventually fight. And that person has to have all the belts. That's how it's designed. So him saying that, oh, nobody knows who the fuck Josh Taylor is. He's the undisputed champion at that weight class. What, are you fucking dumb? It's either fight Haney or fight Taylor. And either way you go, you got to fight an undisputed person. But anyway you go, everything's going to be on the line. So, you know, that's why it tells me they're just bullshitting with Tank. That's why I hope Tank doesn't sign back with him. I hope Tank takes a fight-by-fight basis with whoever he chooses to deal with. That's the best route. If y'all think that's hating, go fuck yourselves. Because that's what it is. This is the business. Why do you think Canelo's making all those millions? Because he's able to navigate over to the PBC, then come back to the zone. And before the PBC, he was with the zone. Come on, man. Loma would destroy Tio if they fought again. I think Loma would beat Tio. I think he would. You know what I mean? That's why I always looked at Tio like, dude, you decided to duck the one guy that gave you the glory that you got. He gave you that torch, and you took the torch and said, fuck you, bye. You know what I mean? Like, what's like, who does that? You got it. B-Hop, Jermaine Taylor, Bud Crawford, Josh Taylor, Usyk. Usyk's, Usyk is there too. He was there at cruiserweight. Absolutely. One day after the fight, and we can comfortably say Cam has crap timing. Yeah, that's true. Tank don't want big fights. Tank's handlers don't want him with big fights because they're trying to sell the idea that he can sell himself without big fights. That's what they're doing. That's why they're doing it. They don't want to say, you know what? We want the belts. We want to go after the belts. It's strap season. You don't hear none of that shit coming from Leonard Ellaby. You don't hear that shit coming from Floyd. You want to hear about what about the numbers? The numbers is what speaks for Tank Davis. He's a star. Nobody else is doing that. Meanwhile, Leonard Ellaby is, will we ever give Tank Davis $8 million? Absolutely not. Come on now. Tank doesn't care about who he fights. He gave an interview not long ago and he said he's never asked for big name fights. That's right. And look, if that's the case, okay, if that's the case, he should stay where he's at. He should stay where he's at because he's where he wants to be. He's with people that don't want to push him, and he's with people that don't want to see him be. He doesn't want to be great. This ain't about being great era. This boxing, especially with Floyd. Floyd should have never been a promoter. Floyd should have retired and just built many whorehouses around the world. This is my many whorehouses. I got many bitches because being with one woman is like the equivalent of being with none at all. So I'm gonna just be with my whorehouses. Money made whorehouses. Money made bordellos. That's what he should have done. He should have stayed away from boxing because he's teaching the same shit doctrine that he left the sport of boxing with. A bad taste in your mouth. He ain't caring about those belts. That's why he never been an undisputed anything. That's why he didn't care about that shit. Because he knows, it's about the money and it's about the numbers. Give me the fortune. Fuck the fame. Fuck all those belts. Floyd is a very brilliant, talented, damaged, legendary icon. That's why he's like he is. Floyd is damaged. He's damaged goods because he's been fucked over by HBO. He's been fucked over by Bob Arum. He's been fucked over by a lot of people that didn't want to see him fight, didn't want to see him shine. And then when he got where he needed to be, he said, fuck all of them. But what he did was he taught all these people the same game plan, the same blueprint. He raised a fucking horde, a group of people that thought just like him. Damaged. And they ain't been damaged like Floyd. They ain't been that type of person. They ain't been in the situations that Floyd had to go through. Floyd fought guys like Zab Judah, Sean Bay Mitchell, Daryl Chop Corley. He fought those guys. Those guys were badasses. These dudes weren't fighting those guys like that. Floyd had to fight these guys. Tank ain't fought fucking Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Kambosos, Lomachenko, Leonidas. He ain't fought them dudes. No. But he has that mindset because he was taught. He was taught this system of how you never want to take risk for nothing, for nobody. And that's the truth. So people say, you hate Floyd. No, I don't hate Floyd. I just know what Floyd did and what Floyd's about. He's in a protection program. Look, he's in the program of making money and not taking risk. And as long as he doesn't take risk, you can never say he was beat. As long as he was never beat, you can't say that he's not the best. So you can always claim you're the best if you've never been beat. What is his biggest motto? I never been beat. I never been defeated. Come on, man. Make this shit make sense. Make this shit make sense. I have no losses. I have no losses. Nobody can ever beat me. So if they never beat me, how can you say I'm not the best? Boom. What are all these dumb dipshits doing? Not fighting anybody, sitting back with padded ass resumes, thinking that Floyd money made all day. I'm the best. I'll beat this. Oh, he ain't nobody. Oh, he ain't nobody. Oh, he ain't nobody. Well, damn. Boxing, nobody is nobody because nobody is fighting anybody to make them somebody. Come on, man. Y'all gonna start me preaching. I need to change my channel to the punching, the boxing preaching. Because that's all I'm doing. I'm taking people to school. I'm taking them to church. And it's a church of boxing. And this is exactly what happened. I've been around for a long time. I've seen all that shit from the middle 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, 10 years into 2000s, 2015, 2020, on forth. Been watching boxing for 35 years plus. Now, I agree, Tank needs to fight the best. He does. They ran Blue Blood up the flagpole for saying that. You can't say that shit being a member of the proud LDBC and say some shit like that. He said it anyway. Shouts out to him. He said Tank Davis needs to fight legitimate opponents. If he doesn't fight, how can he be considered the best? What happened? When he showed up, Leonard Ellaby, oh, we're not talking to you. Oh, you're that Blue Blood Sports TV guy. Cancer culture. Cancer culture. He's like, well, what the fuck? I never said nothing bad about Tank. Basically like this. He never said nothing that wasn't untrue. Right? Good evening, Kurt. Have I missed much? Yes, Nikki Blue Eyes Austin. I've been here for almost an hour. But George Kambosos, just get quick pick me up, he says he was robbed. And I'm like, dude, you're in your hometown. You got the crowd. You got the energy. You got the belts. You got the following. And you didn't perform. You did not perform. You let a jab whoop you all night long. And at no point, I'm disappointed. Like at no point they didn't tell you, slip the jab. Even Rocky Balboa shows you that Mickey taught him, and that's a fictional character. Slip the jab. Slip the jab. Slip the jab, Mickey. Slip the jab. Anybody knows that. Slip the fucking jab. Jab with the jabber. He could have done that. And when he did decide to jab, he caught Devin Haney. He could at least jab with Devin Haney to make it competitive. Floyd's tainted the next generation of fighters by instilling a philosophy of low risk, high reward, and what used to be referred as to a gladiator sport. Absolutely. He turned this shit into business suit mania. Look flashy, flamboyant, wear all your money around your fucking neck, and never fight anybody because you might lose. And then what people don't realize about Floyd, let me drop something on you. Floyd don't believe that they're better than him. That's why. It's easier to not have faith in the fighters that you promote by getting them to do something that you don't believe they can do. And here's the sad thing about Floyd. Floyd could have actually fought Edis Landilada, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Sean Porter. He could have fought the next generation of fighters and probably would have beat them. He might have lost to one or two of them, but he probably would have beat them, if not all of them, most of them, if not most of them, some of them. You know, he would have made a good account of himself. Last set. So Floyd, I don't even think he believed in the fighters that he was preaching that shit to. That's why it was easy for him to say, you know what? Low risk, high reward. Make all the money. Don't get beat up. They don't give a fuck about you. If you get beat up, they're gonna go on to the next motherfucker. They're gonna go on to the next motherfucker. Look, Floyd Mayweather. Nobody can beat me. Nobody ever been beaten. Well, what are you really trying to say? I believe you can't beat me. I believe you can't beat the best. So don't fight the best. I'm the best, but I didn't have to fight the best. But I don't think you guys can fight the best because you're not better than me, money. Floyd Mayweather. Nobody can beat me. I'm Floyd Money Mayweather. I train harder. I'm smarter. I'm with Al Hayward, Leonard Ellaby, TMT, hashtag Money Team, TMT all day, baby, TBE. Let's get this started, baby. Fight nobody, get money. Fight nobody, get money. Floyd was better than all those guys. I don't know about Paul Williams. He probably would have had problems. Winky Wright too. Because remember, styles make fights. Yeah. I'm gonna fight Berto. Low risk. I ain't gonna go in there with Thurman, he beat my ass. I'm 40 years old. What do you look like beating me? He don't deserve a fight with me. Put his ass in there with Errol Spence. Put his ass in there with Errol Spence. He ain't getting an opportunity for me. Lara, here's Lane Lara. You know what? He's a good fighter. I'm not gonna give him an opportunity with me. And if he beats me, what that's gonna say about me? Counter punch. It's hard to believe so many people paid to watch Mayweather McGregor. What a farce. Yep. A lot of people bought that shit, bro. You got to give it to Floyd, though, man. Damn. They marketed the hell out of that fight. You know? Andre Berto as Floyd's last pro opponent was an absolute joke. He should have fought undefeated Keith Thurman. He should have. Lara versus Floyd would have been a chess match. It would have been. But he knew not to fight nobody like that. He's not an idiot. Keith Thurman was too hungry. Erislandy Lara was too experienced. See, if you want to be perceived as the TBE, the best ever, you cannot make someone make you look ordinary. You know what you call that? You call that perception. Perception. Roger, counterpunch. You know, you're not going to fight nobody like Lara, then Lara wins 5 rounds to your 7. People saying that shit was a draw. Because Lara ain't going to do nothing but fucking box you. This is Lara. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Whoa. That's Lara, all day. He's not going to give you too much to counter off of. Floyd might have to work that body, get on the inside. You got a guy with 75-inch reach. He ain't going to fight nobody like that. No. Keith, one time Thurman, you better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son. I can't wait to get Amir Khan and smack him up. But I love Keith Thurman, man. He's still talking smack to this day. Paul Williams would have been a tough fight for Floyd. It was a tough fight for Lara, but Lara beat him. They robbed Lara. Ricky Wright could have beat Floyd Mayweather. They're not going to put him in there with nobody like that. Somebody comes forward. Nope. H, what's up, brother? Everything's good, man. Just finished a good workout. Sweating. About to get clean. About to eat. Had to do some counter punching. Had to counter punch George Kambosos, thinking that he was robbed in his own country. Come on, man. George Kambosos had all the accolades. He had the momentum. He had the backyard territory. He had the belts, you know. Man, I'm gonna eat some steak adobo that I made. Rice, steak adobo, green beans, agua. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna make. Lara beat the hell out of Paul Williams. He did. He had him punch drunk. If Lara was a finisher, he would have knocked him out. He did everything but knock out Paul Williams, and they still robbed him. And Lara was 16-0 at the time, people. He was an undefeated fighter, and they robbed the shit out of him. Gladly. It was so bad in that fight, people, that they suspended all the judges. Like, don't suspend the judges for foul play. Just make it a no contest. Easy. What about Lucas Brown knocking out Junior Fa? Jackal Boy Johnson. That last knockdown was an absolute foul, and the referee did a shitty job. Counterpunch. I've been eating hospital food for weight, bro. Looking good. Appreciate it. Yeah, I need to drop about 10 pounds. I'll be there. Drop about 10? Yeah, I'll be there. It's coming in. It's coming in, but, you know. Your boxing knowledge is impressive. But understand, that's all perception. It's all perception at the end of the day, very end of the day. But anyway, guys, George Kambosos thinking he was robbed. Thank you guys for coming in, hanging out with me during this workout session, during this counterpunch, in the trenches session. I will come back. I'm going to start doing 3 live streams a week, regardless if there's a fight or not. So I'm going to try to do it at 5 o'clock so we can appease both audiences over here and across the pond, wherever we are in the world. So anyway, God bless you all on this Sunday. Take care, be careful, and everyone has been counterpunched. Peace.